In an ideal world, the ones who should take care of you until you can take care of yourself are your parents. It's a simple concept. Keep children housed, keep children fed, keep children alive. Unfortunately, we all know that there are some parents out there who just shouldn't be. Today, we'll take a look at a woman who saw her children as nothing more as tools for revenge. Let's talk about the heinous crime of Susan Eubanks. Susan Eubanks was a 33-year-old medical technician living in San Marcos, California, with her 4 sons at the time of the incident. The kids were Matthew, age 4, Bingham, age 6, Austin, age 7, and Brandon, age 14. Austin, Bingham, and Matthew shared the same father, Eric Eubanks. Brandon's father was John Armstrong. Susan at the time also had another new boyfriend, so she had had some relationship issues that led her here. On October 27, 1996, Susan and her boyfriend were looking after not only the 4 boys, but her 5-year-old nephew as well. The 2 adults spent the day drinking before taking some Valium when they began to fight, so we're off to a real irresponsible start here. As the argument escalated, Susan slashed 2 of her boyfriend's tires and locked him out of her home. After calling the police, he was escorted into the home to collect some things and leave the property, but not before getting an ominous warning from Susan talking about taking herself and the boys out. Rightfully concerned with her threat, the boyfriend called one of the boys' fathers to inform him of the alarming behavior Susan was suddenly showing. The father called the sheriff's department and asked them to go over to the house to check on the children, and this is where the nightmare began. When the deputies arrived at the home, they heard sobbing inside. Upon exploring the 2-bedroom home, they found 3 of the 4 children unalived from shots to the head. 4-year-old Matthew was found wounded but clinging to life, but after being rushed to the hospital, he wouldn't survive the afternoon. Luckily, the 5-year-old nephew was found hiding in the home and he was unharmed. Susan was found still alive within the home, sobbing with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the stomach. She, too, was rushed to the hospital where she recovered from her injury. 5 days later, she was charged with 4 counts of murder. The sheriff stated, "We know what happened, we just don't know why." And so, we dive into what possible reason this woman had for her unforgivable crime. Susan was in a lot of debt from being separated from her husband, owing $40,000 on her credit cards and court-ordered to pay $341 a month to support her 14-year-old son. She was also convicted of drunk driving in 1996 after ramming a sheriff's car at 2 a.m. She was in a world of bad choices and financial pain. But she didn't want to take the blame as she turned her anger on her exes. After this recent fight with another crumbling relationship, Susan claimed she lost control of her body and mind, blacking out from the rage of it all and turning her attention on the boys. She said she wanted revenge for the failure of the relationships, that she wanted the fathers to know the pain of losing those that had been loved. Susan claimed her relationship with her exes were terrifying. She wrote, "I returned to my home after spending a night with a friend and found that my husband had torn up my clothes and written the word DIVORCE in large letters in nail polish on the bathroom mirror." She wrote, "My husband called me a whore, said that I should do everyone a favor and kill myself. He frequently talks of poisoning the food. I'm afraid of him." She also wrote, "My husband grabbed me by the arm and was shaking me violently, wanting to know about my checking account. He also spit in my face." There were documents showing that Eric Eubanks once took a shovel to the windshield of her car on top of allegedly getting drunk and choking his wife. While the defense lawyers claimed that the crime took place during a blackout, that it was a result of a diminished state of mind, it was noted that this was not the first account of child abuse and talk of revenge Susan had expressed. Prosecutors said she was not suffering from a blackout because she had to load the gun twice before she was done, giving her plenty of time to realize what she was doing. The bizarre placement of her self-inflicted wound also suggested that she was not trying to end her own life, but lessen the charges against her or possibly place blame on someone else if she too was suffering injuries. After just 2 hours of deliberation, she was found guilty for all 4 counts of first-degree murder on October 13th, 1999, and after 2 days she was sentenced to death row. She was transferred to the Central California Women's Facility, where she currently resides, awaiting her justified end. Using her kids as revenge was just disgusting. It's like she didn't see them as people, but just tools in order to act out her anger and make some kind of sick point. While violence was a catalyst in all of her relationships, she had plenty of time to turn things around and be a good mom. These kids didn't deserve to be caught in the crossfire of her bad decisions. Thanks for watching. For more true crime and horror, please consider subscribing. Game with me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, and as always, be well.